Hey, I'm Bree from 6 Hearts on 6 Acres, and I'm going to make some Zuppa Toscana soup for dinner tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and bring you along with me as I do that and show you how. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start by cutting up about 6 pieces of bacon. You want to cut that into just little bite-sized pieces. And you're going to put that into your hot skillet. This is awesome because it's a one-pot meal, so you're not going to have a ton of dishes to do, which is super nice when you're all finished and you can just eat and just clean up just a couple things. Go ahead and get that bacon all the way browned and crispy. And next I'm going to start by cutting up my onions. I like my onions chopped up pretty small, so that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm a mom of 4, so constantly you're going to hear little kid voices in the backgrounds of this video. That is just real life, and it's part of it, being a mama to 4 young kids running around. I love them to be in the kitchen with me while I'm cooking. I want them to gain all of that knowledge, so as they grow they're able to make meals and be a big help in the kitchen, and you know, as they grow they can do things on their own. So like I said, I like my onions diced pretty small. You can customize that to however you like yours. If your family likes them bigger or smaller, just go with what you like. Next, I'm going to be washing my potatoes. I'm just using brown russet potatoes. You can use whatever you have on hand. Because I am using russet potatoes, I need to clean them really well, and then I do peel the skin off. Once your bacon is cooked, you can go ahead and take that out of your pot. I just put it in a little plate beside to set aside for later. You will want to keep your grease in that pot. If you have too much, you can take it out, but I had about 2 tablespoons, which is exactly what I needed. Again, the kid noise, that is part of life, and although it can be exhausting, I absolutely love it. Your show over? Yeah. Get off. So I am just taking these potato peelings off. If you don't mind the peelings, you can leave them on. They don't hurt anything. Typically when I use russet potatoes, I take them off. But if I use red potatoes or yellow potatoes, I just leave the skin on there.
This is your first video? This is my first video.
Notice that open cabinet behind me. I drive my husband absolutely crazy when I cook. I don't know why, but I cannot close cabinets when I am finished. And I don't clean up my mess as I go either. I usually end up with a pretty good mess when I'm finished cooking, and I clean it all up when I'm done. I am not a clean as you go kind of cook, although I wish that I was. You're going to go ahead and get these potatoes diced up into bite-sized pieces.
Website for what?
Again, you can customize that to what your family likes, bigger or smaller. Obviously, the smaller they are, the less time they are going to take to cook. And you'll notice I didn't perfectly peel them. I did it quick. Like I said, I have 4 kiddos and I want dinner on the table quickly. I don't want to spend an hour in the kitchen each night, so I don't do a perfect job, but it's good enough. Having a home-cooked dinner with real whole ingredients is super important to my family. I want to make sure that I'm feeding them healthy, nutritious meals as much as possible. Obviously, we are not perfect, and we have McDonald's and chicken nuggets just like everybody else. But for the most part, I would say that we eat a pretty clean, home-cooked diet, and I really enjoy being able to do that for my family. Next thing you're going to do is brown a pound of mild Italian sausage. I've seen this recipe done a lot with hot Italian sausage, but my kiddos and I don't like spicy. So again, customize that to what your family likes. If you don't mind the spice, I'm sure the hot Italian sausage would be really good and add a lot of flavor, but we don't like it. My sausage is still partly frozen, so I'm kind of struggling breaking it up here in the beginning.
Okay.
But it starts to cook and soften up pretty quickly because it's thin. You're just going to want to get that chopped up again into just little bite-sized pieces. And get it cooked through really well. Anybody else hum while they cook? Once your sausage is about halfway cooked, you're going to add in your diced onion and start to get that browned as well. Not really browned, but just cooked until it's translucent. Next, I am going to go ahead and get my garlic cloves peeled and chopped. If you don't have fresh garlic, you can use minced garlic, or you could even just use garlic powder. I had a bunch of these that I bought from Sam's Club last week, so I was going to go ahead and get them used up and not waste them, but I often use just the minced garlic out of the fridge. You're going to add this garlic into your skillet with your sausage and your onions and just kind of let it brown a little bit. And it smells amazing in my kitchen at this point. All of that onion and garlic and sausage smell together was bringing all of the kids in here. We are a leftover loving family, so this recipe did make enough for us to have dinner, for my husband to bring it to lunch the next day, and we'll have it again for dinner the following night. So if you don't need that much, you could easily put this recipe in half. I added about 2 tablespoons of flour just to kind of make a little bit of a roux and get that thickened up, so our soup isn't super runny. You're just going to stir that in and let your flour cook just a little bit. And then at this point, you're going to want to add in chicken broth. I did about 7 cups, and I actually used water and then just chicken bouillon powder. You use whatever you like to use. I will say that next time I make this, I'm going to go a little less on the bouillon powder, as it was pretty salty. Once you get that stirred in, go ahead and add in your chunked up potato that you cut up and throw that in until it boils and your potatoes are soft. I normally add heavy cream to this recipe, but I didn't have any, so I just threw in about a cup of milk, and then I added that bacon that I cooked earlier back in. Season with salt and pepper to taste. I think I did about 2 teaspoons of salt, and like I said, it was too salty for me, so I'd go... You could probably actually even leave the salt out. Get that all stirred and let it come to a boil. And then you're going to add in your chopped kale. I just bought a bag of pre-chopped, pre-washed kale. If you buy whole fresh kale, you're going to want to remove the stems. And you see me picking a few of those out that got missed in the bag. They're just not as tender. Once that all gets stirred in, you're going to want to cook it for about a minute and let that kale get soft. And it is time to eat. This soup is so hot. I'm trying to blow it enough to cool it off so I can have a bite, but I still burn my tongue.
Delicious, delicious.
I almost forgot. So whenever you're finished with this recipe, you're going to have lots of scraps. And you're going to want to have a bag in your freezer. And you can put all of those vegetable scraps in there. And when you get it full, which mine almost is, you can make a really delicious broth. And look at that. There's another door that I left open in the background. If you enjoyed this video today, I ask that you'd like it. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more cooking and canning and gardening. Lots of different things coming your way.